the music rolling. Hello, party people. Hello, hey Z. I saw your piece. Gorgeous, man. Thank you for sharing. I tagged you today. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Get yourself a beverage. Yeah, thank you. Britt, hi. B, yo. Mic check, you hear me okay? Mic. Music okay? It's the new Tom Mish with Yusuf Days, percussionist, producer, jazz musician. Awesome. Hey, Mom. Chris, hey. You guys hear me okay? Hear the music okay? Yeah, happy Wednesday. Hump day. Welcome as everyone's jumping on. Not your average quarantine night. I'm the head dude for Craft and Arts. I'm Chris. Hi. Get your beverages ready. I'm going to get that poured in a second. I'm going to go over what we did last week real quick. I was drinking Relax, the hazy IPA from Offshoot Brewing Company, which is the IPA line for the brewery. And if you look closely, there's a dude floating on the water, and there's a harmless whale shark. I'm going to show my other camera. Harmless whale shark. So it's like, relax. Last week was Earth Day, so I took a little bit of this idea, and I mixed it with a statement on the dirty, plasticky bunch of shit in the ocean. I found this cool snorkeler. She's looking at the starfish, but there's a big credit card. I thought that was actually funny and worked perfectly. And there's a watch in the water and some pistachios and this big old bench and some Patron and a lime, and I taped it all. So it's all super shiny and plasticky. Easy little collage, almost like a David Hockney, The Pear Blossom Highway. Check a look at that. That's what we did last week, or I did last week. I don't know what you guys did. Most of you I saw jump on, looks like you know the drill. You're not here to make my piece. I'm here to kind of work alongside with you. Hopefully you got a beverage, and hopefully you got yourself some supplies. Those supplies can be anything. I predominantly attach everything with tape and stapler. I got a couple other types of tape, duct tape and blue painter's tape. I have a ton of magazine scraps and junk mail that I've already gone through, and some magazines and some ads. And I have some boxes from snack boxes you can use as cardboard. And I'm working on cardboard, so literally household items you can find, whatever. Yes, I have paints. Yes, I have stencils, and I have glue, and I have spray paint and all that good shit. But that's not the point. The point is I want to make this as accessible as possible to you all. And I've said it before, if you're looking for a drawing, like how to draw or how to paint, that kind of lesson, that's not what I do, and that's not what this is totally about. Essentially, you're going to watch me in real time, look through some magazines. We're going to describe the beverage I'm about to open up right now and tell you about it. I'm going to describe it, let that drive some of my inspiration, and by working with collage and pieces, you can kind of move things around and tilt and turn and all that stuff. Dave, it's actually, I'm going to get to it in a second. It's New Adventures of Green Cheek. It's the not so new naughty sauce, essentially. But let that drive my piece, and you'll see in real time how things kind of come together. The idea, Jamie, what up? I saw your text, by the way. I forgot I did respond. But the point of this is to get out of your head and just kind of see what works, throw some crazy ideas out there, and put pieces together. If you don't like it, cool. It was trash to begin with. But if you do like it, also cool. You can still throw it away. But let's get this party really rolling. I'm working on cardboard and got a Sharpie to write my notes. Let's go ahead and get with the beer. I'm going to move last week's out of the way. You guys can hear the music okay? You can hear me okay? Tom Misch and Yusef Day's new album just released a week or so ago. And it's a little bit different than Tom Misch's other stuff, but a little more vibey from the drums from Yusef Day's, and his production is freaking dope. Then when this album's over, it's going to go into Tom Misch's other album. You can hear a difference, but it's amazing. So what I'm going to be drinking today, I went and grabbed some Green Cheek. So this is New Adventures. It's a Nitro Coffee Milk Stout, Golden Milk Stout with coffee, sorry. And if anybody knows about Evan Price and where he formerly used to work, was at Noble Ale Works, and now he's a co-owner and head brewer of Green Cheek. And he brewed a beer called Naughty Sauce, and I'm sure he didn't want to start his new venture with the same old stuff. So 3 years later, he now brings back a new adventure, and I don't know exactly what's different, but it's a Nitro Golden Milk Stout with Portola coffee, just like Naughty Sauce was. I think their coffee's different now at Noble, but essentially that's what it is, and it's like drinking an iced latte, beer style. It's phenomenal. This is a Nitro can, so I'm glad I've caught myself. So essentially, the Nitro can, you want to shake it up 3-4 times, and it's going to spurt a little bit. And my can, you're going to pour it pretty vigorously straight in, and it's going to cascade. But my pint glasses are notoriously not exactly 1 pint. So that's going to cascade. Otherwise, I'm going to spill all over the place. But it smells like coffee right off the bat. And if anyone's ever had, there's versions of it out there. I used to work for Chapman Crafted, and their slow riser is a naughty knockoff, essentially. And they even serve it in a coffee mug. But essentially, that's what's going on here. I'm going to let that drink down. I don't know what's going to do. If I don't do it quickly, then it's going to, the rest of my beer is going to go bad. See, my pint glasses are perfectly not a pint. This one's not perfectly beer clean. Fun. So essentially, we're gonna get this party started by describing our beer. That's how I start all the time. I'm gonna write right on the actual piece of cardboard, but we're gonna look at it. We're visual creatures, so you want to see what that looks like. That head will dissipate a little bit. Oh, it's spilling. I don't mind if it's gonna go on my piece. Actually, a little bit of that aroma, but. We're visual creatures. Look for a consistent light source and describe what you see. So what color is it? How does it look? This one has definitely got a frothy head. Nice and tight. So nitrogen gas versus carbonation. Nitrogen has much smaller bubbles. So that's why it looks, the head is what you would, it's really tight. And it also is why it gives a different mouthfeel, which we'll get to that in a little bit. But it's frothy, tight head, and a really good, like, that's super white. That looks like a perfect pour of beer. White head, like a zit. And then it's definitely golden. It trips you out. The first time I ever had Naughty Sauce, or people might have had it, Golden Milk Stout. It says stout, but why is it golden? It's not a stout. But it pairs with coffee. This doesn't have toasted grain, where it doesn't get that dark color, but you still get the toasty roasty notes from the coffee that goes into it. So it ends up blending it to be a little bit more creamy, and it's got lactose in it as well. So I'm gonna drink it down. Got a little mustache, but it's definitely golden in color, and you can see through it. You get close, you can see through it. It's definitely not hazy or unfiltered or anything like that, and it's clear. That's the way it looks. Next step, we smell it. So most stupid beer nerds, they look at their beer Then they smell it. If you got all this head, all that head keeps popping and it's more aroma. And olfactory senses are about 75% of your taste. So right now I smell heavy amounts of coffee, so it's definitely going to influence my taste buds. So it smells of coffee for sure. It's just like, as soon as the can opened up. Sorry, I'm thirsty. I don't want this to go bad. Oh wait, put that up here. Now if it looks and smells like beer, you're not wrong. There's no wrong answer. But this really, it smells mostly of coffee. I don't smell much anything else. It's hard to get past that coffee smell, especially when the hand's like on my mustache. Then after we go through sight and smell, you're looking at it. I usually end up putting taste in this point because I don't know where people, if the beer hits their lips, don't know exactly what's going to happen after beer hits lips. So go ahead and before you officially taste it this time, take a look. Oh man, this glass is dirty. Ew. Take a look. Smell it one time. If you don't have the head and it's been sitting for a bit, agitate it. Swirl it around. Oh, my hands are sticky. Then pay attention to the front, middle, and back of your tongue as you jump on, as you swallow. And definitely roasty. Like toasted almond. So yes, it tastes like coffee, but if you were to pull apart those things, so I can taste like a toasty almond, or like not quite like peanut, but a toasted nut like almond or cashew or something. It's a little on the sweet side. There's definitely sweetness, and I do get a little bit of fruity. I don't know if that's just from the grain that was used. Or the coffee. I do get a little fruit, like raisin. All right. Then once we get done with taste, we go on mouthfeel. So generally mouthfeel is done before taste, but like I said, I don't know who does what and who knows what. But when beer hits lips, most people just go ahead and drink it. So now, before you drink it, I want you to pay attention to how it coats and feels in your mouth. Now this beer, with it being on nitrogen gas, it's a nitro pour. Like I said, it has much silkier bubbles, much smaller bubbles than carbonation does. So what that does is it makes it feel a little bit more silky and luxurious on the mouth. Oh, it's starting to smell. That helps because this has lactose, which adds a little bit of creaminess. Not so much the sweet, but this is meant to be like a latte beer, essentially. So that's what this really is supposed to be like. So if you're drinking a nitro pour, it's going to feel so much different than carbonation is going to be. It's not going to be as fizzy or effervescent. So that's basically what's happening with this right now. Much smaller bubbles, it's silkier, plus the lactose is going to give you a very creamy mouthfeel, as if you're drinking a latte. So basically, I'm going to put down creamy. If you're just joining on, I'm drinking New Adventures, which is the newer, new naughty sauce. Evan Price's latest from Green Cheek. I'm thinking it's a little bit of a cheeky pun on an old beer, New Adventures. And now he's brought it finally to Green Cheek. It's a nitrogenated can, so it does go all over the place when I open it. And my glasses are exactly not 1 pint. So it usually spills over a bit. I went through some sensory, looked at it, smelled it, tasted it, went through mouthfeel to get a little bit of what that experience is. And then usually after we go through some sensory, some beer sensory, whether you actually know what you're describing or not, I don't care. We don't need to know the right terms. I just want to get your mind going and get your mind thinking descriptively and thinking creatively and thinking experientially. So of your experience, my beer is going to drive this piece, and it has the previous 5 times. I don't expect that to happen in my normal classes, and I don't expect it to happen for you necessarily. It's just to kind of jumpstart and get you in that frame of mind. So right now, after we go through sensory, I also add one more little bit, and that's memories. So I try to, what does this beer evoke? Is the beer you're drinking or whatever you're drinking and describing, does that remind you of something else? Does it remind you of another time? Does it remind you of another beer you've had similar, or who you're with, what you did? And that's usually what happens when I drink beer. So now, this beer reminds me of the very first time I had Naughty Sauce, which was Evan Price's beer at Noble Ale Works. Now, I'm not going to go totally down that rabbit hole, but it's still going to make me feel that way. So it's definitely the new Naughty. I'm going to write that. Definitely getting the new Naughty out. And then the other thing that it does remind me of, because it's like drinking a latte beer, it reminds me of sometimes I've had a Chapman Crafted with their slow riser. It reminds me of chilling in a coffee house. Connections I've made through people in coffee. So I think that's the vibe I'm really going to go with. Since right now we can't just go and chill in a coffee house or in a brewery, that's kind of what's going to work out on this piece. This is now reminding me of times when I was able to do that, different places I've had similar beers, and now also it throws in coffee houses. So I'm going to look for something that's going to be comfy, cozy, and kind of warm that's going to go on here to remind me of the times that we were able to do that. So I'm going to write that shit down, sorry. Comfy, cozy, warm. I have you guys write shit down because it helps commit thoughts to memory. If you just think about it, it doesn't manifest out, and it may not work its way into your piece subconsciously. So when you do write things down, I was asked, Chris, she's on right now, a couple weeks ago I had a guest, and she asked kind of how do I get started, and a lot of it goes writing. Once I've written enough down and the thoughts have gotten out, I kind of know I'm ready. So it's comfy, cozy, and warm, and then times in a brewery and coffee house. I'm missing some homies at Keene. I'm missing some homies at Bodie Leaf by my house over here. Keene and Tustin. That's where this is going to go. So, put that down. I got my notes on here. I got what it looked, what it smelled like, what it tasted like, how it felt, memories it evoked, and that's going to help guide my piece. You're going to watch this shit in real time. So I have the same magazines I've now been working off of, the same pile. I have now more rando scraps that I've saved. I got some ads. If you're still just jumping on right now, I have some boxes and snack pieces, help for pieces of cardboard. I'm working on cardboard. Now I'm going to attach it all with either tape or staplers. Boom. Easy breezy. But this piece is now going to remind me of a comfy, warm, social times, or even just by yourself, like in a coffee house or at a brewery, kind of what those feelings look like. I'm going to find images that are going to kind of work, that's going to pull that together. This was also at the time that Evan first did Naughty Sauce. It was something that was brand new and inventive, so I might throw in some characteristics that look maybe futuristic or things that would contrast conceptually and visually to a warm, comfy coffee house, only because this was pretty inventive at the time. There wasn't a lot going on. It's not allowed at GABF, the Great American Beer Festival, because it's not the profile of a stout. Golden Milk Stout didn't have a category. I don't know if it does now, but essentially that's what's going to happen. And I think I'm actually going to start. I want something comfy, cozy. I think I'm going to start. I have these two Esquire magazines. I might be going with a little bit more of a warm, comfy, like masculine energy. Sorry if that sounds weird, but a little bit more earth tones, darker earth tones. And so that's what I'm going to look for. Essentially, try to find some comfy chairs or sitting position. This guy looks pretty rad, but it looks a little large for my piece. But find something where I might be able to sit and chill. So I'm going to find, you're looking at real time. So I'm sorry if this shit gets boring. But if you are more or less working alongside me, then no worries. Go ahead and do you, work on your thing, and I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep talking because I totally have the ability to. This is what I mean by a comfy, warm, masculine energy, is this Jim Beam ad. Something that might evoke what this kind of feels like. This is what it reminds me of, feeling like what this might make you feel. I might come back and take the candles, and I might just cut out the Beam bottle. But I'm going to definitely take that, set that aside right now. Ooh, let's go. What else we got? I might look for anything else with similar colors. And I also mentioned futuristic. Anything that might be a little bit more futuristic. And I can do that with shapes and the way I cut things out or tear things. So I'm not looking, doesn't have to necessarily make the imagery work. Now I'm working with collage because I want this to be approachable to you. I want this, if you can't paint or draw, I don't care. I don't give a shit. I want you to be able to do it. And collage is sort of the best way to be able to put multiple ideas, because you can quickly take other people's images that kind of give you a certain feeling or a certain look, and you can move them around. Now I did notice that Alex Ponce, I think, jumped on earlier, who's the lead designer for the brewery. Now he can draw and whip shit up. My friend Jamie's on right now. She can also has a hand that she can draw a really quick sketch, and it looks amazing as a sketch, and they're both like, oh, no, it's not ready yet. So they have the ability to do that, but not everyone does. So that's where collage ends up coming in. It makes you feel like things are more approachable and able to be looked at and viewed differently really quickly. No, sorry. I definitely like that pick. I might come back to that. No, nothing quite in that one. Let's check this one real quick, and then I'll move on to some other stuff. Or we might have to get more creative and pull out other colors. That's what I think is kind of cool about collage. I'm giving myself limits for sure to have to creatively work around. So some people have commented, oh, your mind's so creative, how do you do that? And mostly because you have to. You put some sort of restraint on, and you have to. Normally my class has a time limit. I give you all these kinds of materials, and just to make it approachable and let a fine line between what you can and can't do. There's realms of possibilities, but the time limit's where you got to get creative with how you do it. Even creative with your mindset of how you like it or don't like it. This piece is for you. Whether you're going to hang it up is up to you. Whether you're going to throw it away, it's up to you. It's trash to begin with if you're using the household items. Another Jim Beam ad. I am not having luck in this magazine. Let's see. Now also if you... Ooh, this is a literal kind of... So check this out. I might just cut the tables and the people out and use them as the vibe, the filler vibe. We'll see. Something like that. Something like that might work. I might be able to play with that. So here's the other aspect of this. Time is not of the essence. I'm going to be done with this live in an hour. Whether you choose to stay on the whole time is up to you. I'll post. I got another camera over here that's that's filming me for YouTube. But I'm going to share this for 24 hours once it's done, and then YouTube will have it also indefinitely. So you can come back and reference it, but it's not meant for you to finish in the hour. I'm not going to finish. I'm going to work on it until next Wednesday. Bit by bit, come out here when I can. I'm in my garagio. But the idea is finish it on your own time. This is your chance to kind of get wild and weird and go ahead and stretch those boundaries and see what you can do. You set your own parameters and your own challenges, but those are only going to make you do better. Think creatively, because you have to now go out of your way to make something work. No, damn it. Alright, nothing really. Got those. Ooh, Crevassier. No. I'll find something. It's not in those magazines. Let's check. I have an Oprah mag. I have a Wired mag. I can find some futuristic shit in Wired. Let's see what else we got. If not, I'm going to start playing around with those and get something laid out right here. I've had a guest the last 2 weeks. I'm not going to have a guest tonight. There's a trade-off. This is an opportunity to chat and be social, to find out what they're doing and what they're working on, anything alongside, or if they're doing anything else just intermittently. If they have questions for me and my process, then we have an opportunity to do that. But the give, or I guess the take aspect, is I don't get as much of this done in real time. So there's a little bit less of that being shown. I've had responses on both. So I think I'm just going to skip every other week kind of thing. So this week I don't plan on having a guest. If someone really, really, really wants to jump on, request it and I'll toss you on. We can chat. But right now, looking at that, I don't have as much imagery right off the bat. I guess I've gotten lucky before. I'm assuming Oprah's going to have more upbeat, a little bit of a different kind of feel I'm going with, just the kind of person she is and her personality is definitely more bubbly and upbeat and fun. So I don't know if I'm going to find the right imagery, but I might find I got to at least get a fucking cup of coffee or something. Pardon my language if you're at home with kids. Ooh, opioids? No, not the vibe. Come on. I gotta find a cup of coffee. You guys hear? Tom Misch and Yusef Days is jamming. So good. The new album's called What Kind of Music is what it's called. No. Dang, man. Not finding what I need. Pumpkin pie. No mangoes. Alright, so you're literally watching real time me fail at trying to find shit live. I have Hola magazine. Ooh, that cover kind of speaks what I'm talking about. Plus I love Eva Mendes. I just don't know if I need the pose necessarily. Let's see what's in here. Boop, boop, boop. I haven't looked at this one yet, I don't think at all. Some dope furniture I might be able to snag. I just need a cup of coffee. Or something coffee related. Do. Pastries, nope. How we doing? Alright, Chris is saying just work with what you got. I think I'm going to do that. I might have to find some other images later. Nope, no cup of coffee. No. So close. Oh, yes. This is like an espresso coffee maker. Booyah! It's not big, but it's something. Nespresso, nailed it. There's something there. Let's see if I can find anything else that might give me what I want. If not, I'm going to go with that. And then colors. Ooh, the colors of this background. Guess I wasn't recording my other one. I didn't hit the button. Whoops. So it's missing some of the beginning part. Cool. That's always great. Alright, I have some stuff to be able to work with. For sure. This is almost done. Anything else? Sanchez. Alright. I think I got some stuff that I can definitely work with. So I love the way this feels, this conversation that's happening. I'm pretty sure I'm going to take the Nespresso out and put it right here where the Jim Beam bottle's at. Fuck, where'd it go? Did I really just do that? I did. I lost it. I'll have to find it later. Cool. Alright. Anyway, I'm going to cut these peeps out. And I'll probably clean it up a little bit later as well. I have an X-Acto knife, so I'm able to do that. I'll probably clean it up. This will at least give me an idea to get my layout started and see how I like it, where things are at, and those things kind of can still massage as other pieces come and be part of the collage puzzle, if you will. But oh, too far there. Cut out, boom. Alright, this gives me an idea of how I want it to go. I'll put the Nespresso thing in front. I don't even know where that stupid thing went. It got blown away when I stood up, I think. But I'll find it. Alright. So this is my main image. This is what I wanted the feel. This is the feel I really wanted to do. That I want it to feel like. It kind of evokes this latte coffee shop beer, but I want it to be a little bit modern and inventive. This is gonna be my main focal point, essentially. This is what I want you to get everything from this, and everything else is gonna support the way this feels and how that relates to this beer. So there's ways I can put it smack dab in the middle, turn it off to the side, and build myself out this way. I like negative space. I like to put things off. I like to have things in this other left or right 1/3. I like the way it still gives you that harmony, but it still makes it a little bit more interesting and dynamic versus just having everything perfectly centered. But we'll see how some other things actually work. So I think I actually will pull it off to the side, something like that. If I'm able to kind of cut out something to highlight the new naughty, that's probably what I would title this piece. Then I'll probably do that. But I'll pull that off to the side because that's how I want it to look, kind of like that. And then with these, I want these to kind of be the backdrops. So I'm gonna take these full on, almost like panels. So I might be able to use these tones. I can cover that up. I'm not gonna cut it out now. I can cover that up. And then also the same thing with this one. So I just took out. It's just cool. They're like panels. I don't know if it's metal. Yeah, it might be a type of metal. Not quite like Corten steel, but something like that. And I'm going to take these wood slats, and I'm going to take this also golden color. I can use both of those. That's kind of the backdrop and walls of my piece. This I'm going to cut around her. I want to get as much of it as I can. For the slats, the wood slats. And great. Now I'm going to have like 2 Eva Mendes pieces afterwards, like I'm a freaking stalker. Don't tell her, okay? Yeah, this yellowish color. I dig those colors. Look at all of them together. Take a look. Definitely warm. Still some modern aspects to them. Even if those were strictly right behind. So even if you look at this real quick, see how that's feeling, how that's looking? Boop, boop, boop. Yeah, buddy. those aside if I need them. Then I have this one other one I found. I'm going to cut and rearrange, try to cut some of them out and the tables they're sitting at and try to maybe rearrange them. I like the ceiling, this light, big giant light fixture. That's freaking dope. So I'm going to try to salvage that, probably hang that up somewhere. Cool. So I have this, I oriented it in landscape, as you can see. This is much, I think it's wider than it is here. Plus it gives you the feel of even like having a lower ceiling, having it feel more tight and cozy versus having something that would be so much like vaulted ceiling or feel that way. And because it brings them all close together and crowd in some of these other images of the people I have, it's definitely going to make it feel cozy. And sort of the feeling that I'm looking for, the brewery Teru tasting room. So I would actually be there tomorrow night for my normal paintish party. Would be there tomorrow night, but they have sort of a feel that I'm looking for. The way that place kind of feels. They do have some white walls and there's a little bit brighter in there, but it is kind of like a modern meets comfy, cozy, meets a little bit of that masculine energy. There's staghorn fixtures in there, friggin' awesome. All right. Let's get some of these guys out. How am I gonna do that? Oh, I may not be able to separate them based on how I... There's a person sitting in front of that one over there. Let's see. First, I'm gonna get this light fixture. Try to get that out of the way. Oh, hold on. If I had this whole image. No, because I want to put them up here, like it's give you some depth and perspective, going like as it's like it's set back. So let's cut out this what's it called, light fixture. Dude, this album is so vibey. It's What Kind of Music, the new Tom Misch, produced and percussioned by Yusuf Days, another British dude that I learned about after listening to this and reading more about it. This is a little bit different than what Tom Misch's other album and other stuff. A little bit, not majorly, but definitely a little bit more sound experimental, jazzy than some of his other stuff. But his other beats meet this vibe. But the album Geography has got definitely some more mix and a little bit more R&B sound, which will come up right after this is over, actually. If you're just jumping on, or if you... Oh, let it leave? How you doing? Oh, shit. Yeah, my homie Alina just jumped on. If you're just jumping on right now, I'm drinking New Adventures Golden Milk Stout with coffee, or Nitro Golden Milk Stout with coffee, which Evan Price kind of brought back Naughty Sauce at his new spot, Green Cheek, 3 years later. After opening now, and that's basically what's driving this piece. Is tastes like a coffee, like a latte beer, and it's reminding me of coffee shops, warm, cozy, comfy coffee shops, and some breweries that are like that, and missing being able to go sit down and enjoy a cup of coffee in a coffee house, not just a beer. So that's what I'm going with. I just cut out this cool light fixture I found. I had some trouble finding the right imagery, but basically I found this Jim Beam ad. This is what it's making me feel like, and I found these colors in the Eva Mendes pics, the background. So that's how it's making me feel. And I'm starting to dissect this other piece right here. Right now, just with scissors. And we'll see how this one ends up working out. I might need to find some other images still, but I'm going to try to isolate the booth, like where they're sitting, and the people that are in here. And this is definitely something that probably would be better if I was really wanted to pay attention to the lines and make sure that layers all worked fine. I would probably want to do this with an X-Acto knife and get more precise. I do have one in the cabinet right over there and a mat to cut it on, but I don't want you all to feel jealous for the cool tools that I have at my disposal. So I'm trying to use things, I guess, as primitively as possible. One, to show you that, yeah, you can still make dope shit without needing to have the pen and the pencil and the markers and the paints and the crazy skills and the canvas and the gesso. You can still make some dope shit. You can still work those creative muscles, especially with collage, and I'm going to keep repeating that. Collage allows you to pull and tear and rip. It's really visceral. It also allows you to move things around however you like and see how they fit. It also allows you to embrace things aren't perfect by piecing your like literally building your frame, your canvas of visual features. So you can, if something's not perfectly to scale and something's really big and really small, you can mess with all of that stuff. So, you jealous, Z? Why are you jealous? Dude, your piece was awesome. So whether you're working alongside or whether you're just watching it, or whether you're zoning out to the sweet sounds of my bassy voice, yeah, this is what's happening in real time. I'm going to cut a lot of these things out. I don't think I'm going to physically be able to separate. I want to try to separate this table from this table, the one in the foreground from the one in the background. But her head's kind of in the way and it meshes between, so I don't know if I can cleanly do that to where it doesn't make sense. But again, I'm sitting here preaching to you. It's okay to embrace it not making sense. My only fear is I had not a lot of luck finding these images, so if I mess up trying to do it, I'm going to have to go search for more images. So it's more of a laziness, putting the time to try it out versus the time to have to find other images if I don't want to. You found absolutely nothing? You can order things online, but Z, I'm using the I want to be stapling these, or like just regular like tape, or if you got masking tape or something. It doesn't have to be. You don't need all the paints and stuff. Yes, I have all those things, but I'm not using them because I don't need to. And then I got junk mail. Oh, that's where I can find maybe coffee. Might be able to find. I'm gonna look through some ads here and see if I can find some coffee, like coffee beans or a coffee drink or something in here too. I'm gonna use that. But yeah, use some ads or junk mail. You don't have to be able to have to find supplies just to be able to create. Is my point. But I don't know if I'm gonna be able to separate them because I'm gonna have a void in this other table over here. I'm just gonna keep them together. I'm going to play around with how they look, but I'm probably going to take the X-Acto knife and trim things out later. Let's cut this right down. And I want to set this up over to the side over here. I love it when things kind of go off my plane, so I might also bring this up a little bit. Keep in mind also we'll have this light fixture up at the top. I don't know if I wanted to create some depth, so like these people back here, and I might find something else, not an actual object, but some more background patterns that might cut off and connect these two. But I think I'm gonna have this set back here, so it's almost like it gives you perspective, like this coffee house goes back deep. Kind of gives you that vibe. At least that's what I'm picking up. Something like that. But I think that's it. I don't know if I'm going to play around much more with these. And I also kind of really like how this is just very jankily put together. They're kind of awkward. I might play around with that. But I'm going to for sure put this down here. Let's see if I would have put these more straight. No, I like them just kind of like all around. You start staring at something for so long, you either get used to it or you find out truly what's wrong with it in terms of a piece. So this has been sitting here, and I got used to how everything wasn't perfectly straight up and down. I kind of like that, which is weird because it's different from beer. That's where, especially someone like Evan Price, where he's trying to tweak the recipes to get them pretty perfect. So there isn't as much room for, I just like the way that tastes. And yeah, a lot of art forms are like that, but beer is one that precision starts to become something that's pretty important. Here's the new album that's about, the old album that's about to start, Geography. The song that got me hooked on Tom Misch is like in the second or third track in, called Down to the River. So when that comes on, I'm warning you now, I'm just gonna fucking groove. Yeah, I kind of like that. Put that down. Oh yeah, I did want to have the new Naughty. Cut that out. I'm gonna need to find some more colors. I think I'm gonna pull something like that over here. It's gonna be something like this. That's bring these vertical and these horizontal off the main image and have these in the background. That might be something where I might be able to use these edges. That might be where my futuristic side comes out, that I wanted it to kind of evoke as well, because it was inventive for the time. Do I have it? I guess so. Yeah, something like that. More wood. This is another color. No, I need longer stretches. So I wasn't looking for that earlier. Is there any more? There was a lot of that coloring in here. Tom Misch sings and he plays guitar and other instruments, and he produces a lot of the beats too. You know what? What if I took patterns from the dresses? I don't know, maybe. There's more of these I can grab. Bum, 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 That almost works. I'll play around. I might actually pull this other darker one in here to give some separation between these that look the same, or that are the same. More you go. Looks like we're coming up on 10 minutes left, guys. If you're still hanging with me. So basically, in closing, working off of new adventures, a Nitro coffee, or Nitro Golden Milk Stout with Portola coffee from Green Cheek Beer Company. Mr. Evan Price invented a beer called Naughty Sauce at Noble Ale Works, and he's kind of still brought that vibe to Green Cheek in a cheeky way, calling it a new adventure, but it's kind of a old favorite, and it was inventive for its time, being a golden milk stout, blowing people's minds, tastes like a latte beer. And so some of those memories and feelings are going into what this piece is, like drinking coffee in a coffee house. You can't quite do that right now. Can't drink beer in a brewery or a tap house either, but trying to evoke some of those vibes, those warm, comfy, social vibes. Well, this is the track. The bass line's so dope. I don't know if you can be able to hear it. Ready? I want to stay south of the river. South of the River by Tom Misch, M-I-S-C-H. But that's the kind of vibe I'm trying to feel, and it's captured in this photograph right here. This ad from Jim Beam. This is the feeling I want you to feel. I found an image of a Nespresso coffee maker that I'm gonna replace this whiskey bottle with. It blew away. I gotta find it later. But that's the feeling I'm trying to make it evoke from this beer and this piece. And I found these backdrops from a photo shoot with Ava Mendez that are going to be in the background. I found this other image that I'm going to cut out, trim a little bit better with more people. Set it off back here to the side to give it some depth, like as if it's like going back a little further. And pulling in some more of these kind of vibes that are going to go horizontally this way. I might find something else, but it might be that simple. It may not need anything else. But I want it to feel warm. I want it to feel cozy. I want it to feel social, candid, and that literally this pick does it all. So now I'm just trying to support. This is the focal point. I'm trying to support this feeling with everything else. Thank you all for jumping on. Yeah, still got 8 minutes, so I'm going to carry it out and jam with Tom Misch. But thank you for jumping on. I'm live on Wednesdays. This is going to be up in my stories for another 24 hours. I have another camera that films that will go on to YouTube, and I totally hit the button, but I guess I didn't actually hit the button when I went live, because I had to start it halfway through, so it's only got 23 minutes on it right now, or about half. So unfortunately, the beginning part won't be on YouTube, but that's not super imperative. But if you want to reference anything later, it's there on our YouTube channel. Search Not Your Average Quarantine Night. If you're working alongside and you're working on a piece right now, share it. I don't care if you finish tonight. That's not the point. I'm not going to finish tonight. I'm going to intermittently work on this until next Wednesday, and I'll share as I go along. But hashtag Not Your Average Quarantine Nights. My usual is hashtag Not Your Average Paint Night. I'm Chris, the head dude for Craft and Arts, as in craft beer and arts and crafts. We're working on collages. That's what I've been doing mostly because it's the most approachable way to the creative process, and to embrace some failure, to try new shit and test it out, and be able to do it whenever, wherever, with fucking cardboard and tape and staplers. You don't need fancy materials. You don't need paint. You don't need markers. You don't need to be able to draw or paint any of that stuff. So that's what it's about. But you do you. You're not making my piece, that's for damn sure, unless you got these exact magazines or these exact ads. But this is for you to make it. This is only more so to show you in real time how this really can go and how it can start out, and get inside my mindset, turn on some dope tunes, get yourself a beer to describe and write down, and yeah, cheersies. I'll see you guys next week. We got about 5 more minutes. Yeah, 6 more minutes. I'm gonna keep going. See if I can find anything else that might be able to blend with these. Did I look through this again? Yeah, I did. God, so many watches. And the 2 dudes that give me Esquire, they're like stupid. They're like watch fiends, and now I know why. They're subliminally put in every single freaking Esquire. Like every other page is a watch ad. I do might want a little bit of colors to bright up. I don't know. I'll have to look at it for a little bit more. I do like the colors of this Rolex ad. I like the fade, that beige to white fade. I might come back and just use that. But this has got some patterns and a little bit of pattern texture. Oh, found it. Fucking found it. Oh my gosh. Light bulb moment. 5 minutes to spare. This dude's collar, the Dolce & Gabbana, what are those? Yep, you guessed it. Coffee beans. Oh, shit. Yes. Oh, killer. Nailed it. Nailed it. I win. I win the live game. I win it. Coffee beans. They're coffee beans. Oh my god. Oh my gosh. Yep. Coffee beans. That's killer. I'm gonna figure out how to use this. Whether it's the actual patterns themselves, or I might be able to use like the actual ensemble. It's dope. Alright, I'm gonna play around with this probably a little bit more. Yeah, but found it. He's got coffee beans. Thank you, Dolce and Gabbana. Oh man. Shout out to my sister-in-law if she's on still. It's her birthday. Z, I guess congrats to you as well on the birth of your daughter. But yeah, nah, happy birthday. Dude, I can't believe this. And there's even a coffee. There's a little coffee cup. Yes. Yes. New adventures from Green Cheek. Nitro Golden Milk Stout with coffee. It's evoking coffee vibes, coffee house vibes, and old naughty sauce. And this is literally where it's going. And we got under 2 minutes is what the live is telling me right now. So I'm just gonna revel in the fact that I found this in within the last 5 minutes. And that's so freaking dope. Oh my gosh. This might be the bright color I was needed to kind of make things pop a little bit, is that cream color in between. Oh yes. Yes. I'm gonna cut out around them right now because I might be able to actually just use it as like they actually have the shoulder pads on here, make it look a little weird. But we'll see. I'll play around with it before I fully chop it up. Yeah, about a minute underneath, or just above a minute left. I gotta get the guy's ascot right. Movie. Yeah, we got Tom Misch and Yusef Day. Their What Kind of Music album was the vibe for the first 45 minutes. Yeah, not your average quarantine night. Hashtag it. Tag us at _craft and arts. Thanks for joining. See you next Wednesday. This will be up in our stories for 24 hours. The other video, even though it's only half of it, unfortunately, will be on YouTube channel. Tag me, send me the stuff you're working on, send me questions if you want, pick my brain. I'm an idea guy. Sometimes making it happen is the harder part for me, but that's the fun part, to kind of figure that out, and you get to watch that real time as I couldn't find imagery. And then I found this last 5 minutes, coffee bean, like lapel and sleeves. All right, we got 14 seconds. I'm going to awkwardly take a sip of beer now. Thanks, homies. Cheersies.